Trade Talk, powered by Travis Perkins.
Hello, I'm Sally and welcome back. This is a podcast for anyone working in the trade. We're here to help keep you up to date with the latest trade news and advice. Joining me today in the studio is our old faithful, Karl.
Glad to be back, thank you.
Welcome, Karl Conway from
KLC Builders, General Builders based in South Manchester.
And we have a special guest today joining us, which is Adam. Adam, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Sally. Hi, Karl. Adam Caulfield, I'm Managing Director of TP's Hire Business.
That's right. So TP, Travis Perkins, have a hire business, which actually not many people know. So it's actually wonderful to have you here today, Adam. So thank you so much for coming. Tell us a little bit about your job then, because to be honest with you, not everybody knows that Travis Perkins you can actually hire tools.
No, it's probably one of the industry's best or worst kept secrets, whichever way you want to look at it. 800 people work in the hire business for Travis Perkins. So again, I suppose my main job is to make sure everyone gets home safely. That's the first priority, regardless of whether you hire a piece of kit, whether you support a customer, you do anything else. Safety is the first bit. Second bit really then is be able to give anything to the likes of Karl for any of the projects that they work on. I always think of it almost like a restaurant is we give them the best materials to be able to work with. Using Karl's experience, we've got to be able to have the right tools to do the job as well. So that's where the hire team step in to make sure you've got everything you need to complete a project.
So is it still quite new? It's
been going actually for over a decade. So the hire business has been going for quite a while. But I think over time, as Travis has grown, got more branches and developed, the hire business has grown with it. So this is where you're probably hearing a little bit more about it now.
And so give us a bit of an idea as well about the tools that you can actually offer for people in the trade. So, I mean, have you got a vast range? And also, can anybody hire them as well? Or do you have to, do you vet people beforehand? I mean, Karl might be a bit lethal with something, for example. Little untrustworthy.
We won't talk about that.
We've got, TP have got over 500 branches in the UK, and you can hire from over 250 of them. So we've got the biggest network of any hire company in the UK. That means you can pick up a tool anywhere you want. You can drop it off at a different hire branch if, say, you moved in a job and moved across town, you can drop it off wherever. And I think from a hire perspective, we've got over 60,000 assets that we own. So those are the ones that we test every day that TP can get you have available all the time. And then we can get anything else you want. So we have a specialist team based in one of our offices in Northampton that can help our branches source anything. So regardless of the project, whatever you're doing, it'll either be assets that we own or we can get for you.
So is it a vast range then? So you're talking cement mixers and breakers. Can you give us a few examples as to what you can actually hire?
Yeah, you can. So we've got one of the biggest fleets from JCB to be able to, Karl and I were talking before about building extensions, building houses, to be able to put in foundations. We've got one of the biggest fleets.
So you've got mini diggers then?
Yeah.
Like a little bobcats and
mini
stuff
diggers,
like that.
excavators.
I love them. Don't get me
all
on
the
toys.
Yeah, you probably would have to vet me before I get on the toys. Sally, no power tools.
If it's anything like you're driving south.
Hang on a minute, we're not going down that road. It's fabulous.
All of that gear. And then we've got loads of stuff that mainly handheld, so things that help repair and maintenance, so drills from Hilti, cement mixers, all the things that you just mentioned, to be able to do pretty much any job.
And do you know what? The one thing I do know that you do, only because my husband actually gets them through TP, is you do toilet hire now as well, don't you?
We do. We are one of the
very glamorous.
Honestly, my job is excitement from sort of Monday to Friday. We do toilets and we do skips as well.
Wow. So do you actually have your own toilets that you hire out, or is this something you subcontract as well?
Yeah, we subcontract that to specialists. So it's not just really the toilet, as you would imagine. It's all the services that go with it, and the same with the skips. So we have a range of companies that work all across the UK to support our customers. And where we make it easy there is quite a lot of our trades might work in Manchester one day, be down in London the day after. We're able to then put orders in ahead, so as soon as they turn up to site, everything that they need is there waiting for them. So again, it's probably a little bit of a selling point for TP we can get the materials there and the equipment you need to do the job.
So it's like having a hire car then, really? Like if you hired a car and then you kind of wanted to take it, I don't know, somewhere else, and you're picking up another car or maybe taking yourself to the airport, you can collect it from one sort of depot and then drop it off at another.
Absolutely. And quite a lot of our branches, the branch managers there, the hire managers, have got really good relationships with all their customers and are able to, again, we work really well in little networks. So moving stuff around Manchester, moving stuff a little bit further afield is really easy.
And you mentioned a daily rate, didn't you, before that? Instead of having like a 24-hour where you might have to store the machines in your own property or in the van, which you wouldn't put it in anyway, but then you can take it back the same day, and I presume that might be cheaper, or however, I don't know if you've only many hours rather than 24.
It can be. One of our biggest customer types are the guys that do repair and maintenance of buildings. So you imagine in the morning you might have to fix a sink, so you'd need the equipment and the materials for that. You do that job, then you need to maybe put a shelf up and you need a different piece of kit. You can bring the first bit back, just use it for a couple of hours, then get a different piece of equipment to be able to do the next job. And it can rotate all the way through the day. And then from a security perspective, if you like, you don't need to take that kit back with you. Drop it into us and we look after it overnight for you.
Yeah.
Are you contracted then when you're doing this? So, I mean, say, for example, if Karl needed to come and get like a breaker off of you, does he have to sign something as well? I mean, because obviously, you're dealing with a lot of equipment here that's very expensive. Yeah. So you kind of have to vet people. Well, that's what I'm thinking. Let's be honest. We've talked previously on episodes about things getting stolen out of vans. I mean, this is Travis Perkins's equipment that you've got. So, you're going to have to sign kind of a waiver or something along the way, surely, because you're not just going to give it out to anybody.
I think that one of the first bits of why people trade with Travis from the trade is to be able to have an account. So being able to buy all their materials before you even get to hire and then add hire onto the same account is a real benefit. So because we then have an account and we've done the credit checks and we've done everything else, it's really easy to then to hire. And then, again, some companies will have an overarching insurance for anything that they hire. They're able to take care of it if something goes wrong. But also we add that on as an extra onto the hire if you choose. Again, using a little bit like the car hire, you can get the extra layers of insurance that if something then does happen, you're covered and you don't have to fork out for the full cost of the equipment. So having the account is a benefit. And then we're working quite hard at the moment to be able to open up hire to, I suppose, what called cash customers may not have an account with Travis but still want to be able to do a job. And there's different layers on that one because, as you say, the kit could be quite expensive and you need to be able to do different things. So we're working hard to be able to open up hire to all our customers. At the moment, it's mainly around those that have accounts.
And do you have a little bit of leeway with regards to wear and tear? Because let's be honest, the building sites, they're going on to bits. Everything gets filthy. Yeah. My husband comes home filthy most nights, to be honest with you. So you're going to get a little bit of damage and a little bit of wear and tear. And is that taken into consideration?
It's probably one of the biggest benefits of hiring. So if, for example, Karl owns his own asset and owns his own kit, if something breaks, that could put him out of action for the day after. Or it could stop or slow down a job. Where if you hire it, really you're pushing the onus onto me. So if something breaks, we take care of it through the sort of the damage and the waiver that you'd sign on that, and then we replace the kit with something that works.
Right.
So one of the big things is every time an asset comes back to us, we test it and make sure it's ready for the next job. So again, using that wear and tear piece, we look after it for you. Yeah. That's one of the biggest reasons someone would hire.
Have you ever, Karl, do you ever hire anything at all?
Many times, yeah. Sometimes it makes it so easier, whether, as an example, say you were doing out the dig of the foundation. Now, you can do it the traditional way, get your shovel out and your wheelbarrow, or if you've got the access to get around into the job, then you can hire one of his diggers or get one of the dumpers, and it's a lot safety. Again, you've got no hassle with the machines. If you're going back, they'll exchange it straight away if there's another one. But we do take the machines out. A lot of it is, let's say, for instance, we do a job and we haven't got the tools, but it's a one-off job. We don't usually get many of those kind of jobs. We'll go to Travis and hire it out, and then it saves us buying it rather than a £400 machine. You're getting it at a decent
I was going to say, if you're trying to establish yourself as well in the trade, it's so expensive to lay out all these tools to begin with anyway, especially when you don't know what nature of jobs you're going to get that are going to come in. Do you know what I mean? You're trying to plan the way. Yeah. And also you've got to store all your kit somewhere. We've talked about safety and security before and trying to keep things in your van. It's not always safe, is it? So most of your tools, do you own a lot of your tools, or do you tend to hire the bigger ones out, or do you own you're a brickie, so do you own your own cement mix, or do you hire that out?
We own all that with trestles and your basic stuff that that you're going to use on this job, on the next job, then it is probably worth you doing it. But anything like a JCB, we just hire it. It's worth it because it's like paying another lad, but it's a stronger lad. The job's going to go faster. It's a lot safer. Yeah, it's worth it.
I know we had a laugh about toilet hire, right? Which I don't. Listen, we're human. We all find toilets hilarious, but actually toilet hire is something that you see more and more, even on smaller jobs, because it's more easily accessible. So I suppose that's really going to play to your strengths, isn't it, Travis? Because most jobs where people are doing extensions, especially like Karl does, you're going to get a toilet.
You don't want them in the house. The customers, the last thing they want is 3 or 4 builders. Even though taking the shoes off.
You don't want them peeing in your garden on top of that, do you? So are we in the wild? No, thank you, not here.
That's the first job.
So definitely. Because obviously, I'm not sort of saying how to do business, but it's an upsell, isn't it? Really? Would you like a loo with that?
I think as well that, like Karl and I were talking before, is there's less and less younger people coming into the industry, and I think. When people come into construction, they expect a certain level of being looked after by their employer. So imagine turning up to work every day and you don't have access to sort of drinks and food and toilets. I mean, those are some of the real basic things. So even from a legislation perspective, there's a requirement to offer some of the basics, even whether it's a construction site, so we can help take care of that. And then even waste removal, to have skips after it. These are the things that you've done a day's work, Karl. You don't want to have to then go to a tip and get rid of a load of stuff. It's just you have the skip on site and it's taken care of for you. So it's all these, as you say, all these little added value things outside of just having the solution that can make you do the job.
So I presume that if you're doing the toilets, you're doing the containers, like if it was an office or it was a storage.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You're doing all that. Yeah.
You're doing that. And even now, some of the new tech is, how do we charge kit up? So how do we charge batteries up? The lads on site want to be able to charge mobile phones up. How do you get networks up and running, of Wi-Fi on a site if you've got certain jobs that you want to do? So the new things that are coming into the market to be able to hire almost new things are coming every day.
Makes it so much easier.
Well, technology is going crazy at the moment. I mean, I don't even want to get started on AI, because we were looking. My husband's in the trade, has been for a long time now, 20 odd years, and I think he was looking recently about a development in Texas that had been built solely by robots.
Wow.
So I know, which is scary for the trade.
You won't need the
loop.
But it's a bit like, right, okay, hang on a minute. But that aside, equipment is really moving fast. You can get some really smart bits of kit now. So does Travis stay up to date with everything? And do you renew your stock and your assets that you have? Are you regularly renewing it? So it's not like somebody's gonna come and get some like 1980s breaker.
No, it doesn't work.
A bit like hiring a car with a troke, isn't it? As you're pulling it out.
The industry's probably going a little bit like the change from petrol cars or diesel cars to EV. So if you imagine, like, Karl, if you've done this for a few years, you've got a certain kit that you like, probably the way of working that you like, but actually that kit's changing. So you won't be powered by petrol or diesel in a couple of years. It'll all be battery. And then it's that next thinking of, okay, so it's going to be battery, but what do you want that battery to be able to power lots of different kinds of equipment that you've got, like the drill or the breaker, and using the same thing? So the industry's moving at pace. It'll be the change is really around the way that equipment is powered, and can it do the jobs? If it's, I don't know, a disc cutter that cuts the floor, can you still get the same power out of a battery output than if it's a diesel one? So some of the pushback is people that maybe have used certain kit for a few years don't like the new change. So again, I always think of it as like changing to EVs. Driving an electric car, still getting from A to B, it's just in a different way.
I bet the health and safety aspects of it, because if you have, like, say, these petrol machines and the cutters, the decibels that kicks off,
it's tremendous.
Because the earplugs you need to be wearing, I presume when it's all electric or it's changing all that, and like you said, some vibration, like you said, to the machines.
It's massively different. It's the vibration, even when you're using kit, when you use electrics less. You've not got the emissions that are coming out, or either the motor or the dust getting thrown up. Some of the new technology gets rid of all the dust when you're doing that as well. So I think we see lots of changing around the equipment about how it's powered. So whether it's going to be electric powered or hydrogen powered, even for some of the plant in the future. So that's one of the big innovations. How do you get power and charging availability to a site? So how do you set the infrastructure up? It's all right saying have an electric digger, but how's that going to get charged at night and when you're using it? So that's another thinking about how that happens. And then from a renewal perspective, Travis have got one of the newest fleets out of any of the hire companies. So we renew our kit regularly and make sure that we're working with partners. Some of the ones that are known in the industry, you'll know Hilti, you know JCB. The main suppliers of kit are making sure that we have not just what's needed today, but start testing with our customers what they're going to be using in a couple of years. We had an innovation day a few weeks ago, 200 colleagues, customers and suppliers showing us what the next generation and what's coming over the next 18 months. So it's great. It's quite an interesting industry.
I mean, the toys are just insane anyway, aren't they? But the fact that and like you just said, it's going to go electric. You're definitely going to get people that are wary of that anyway. Like you said, with regards to EVs, people, I'm not having an electric car. Plug that into the house. Well, put the kettle on. That's it. You're gone.
Yeah, most customers don't want you to use their electricity, I presume. And there's so much going on.
I was going to say, do you hire generators then? And at the moment, obviously, you're going to have like petrol, sort of diesel generators, aren't you? But eventually, it's going to really, things are really going to change up.
You're going
to have to almost have the battery packs that you take with you that can charge the digger, the kit, the Wi-Fi network that you need.
The lights, everything, isn't it? Yeah.
So again, like if you're a house builder where you'd used to say survey a site, you wouldn't know what's in the ground, what you're doing. Now everything, you can fly a drone over and it'll be done in a matter of minutes. So then the technology is just different, and you'll have to secure a site. You need to know how you're going to power all the tools that you've got, everything else, and we can help.
Yeah.
I mean, Karl, you've mentioned in the past that when you do your estimations and your quotes for your customers, that you do online, don't you? You give it like a bit of a rough idea. Yeah. So, would you build in your tool hire into that as well?
There is
Make
sections.
sure you do it. So I was going to say, is that an option for you?
Yeah, I mean, Travis do that an estimating service, don't they? So usually they're clued up on what machines you're going to use to build, whether it's the new ones or the old ones, however you want to do the job. But yeah, the Portaloo toilet gets put in. You get your hire equipment put in. I mean, sometimes you do have to look at the prices. If you priced it a year ago, you need to check with everything really of what's coming in. But yeah, it's usually put down. It's very hard to get everything, but if you were looking at security, you'd measure the area, how many fences you need, the power of the generator that you'd need to run the machines off. You don't want a small generator that 10 people have all plugged into it, and then suddenly it's the kettle that trips everything off, you know what I mean? But,
the microwave. Let's be prep meal.
It is usually logged down, but there's adjustments to it. Not everything can be done at the beginning. There's always something that pops up, isn't there?
So the tools that you have at the moment, have you bought those brand new in the past, or have you ever bought anything second hand?
If there was a hammer or I love my car boot sales, mate.
This is great. I've not been to a car boot sale for years. Do they still happen?
Oh yeah, they're busy now. They're busy. When the cash society goes, I don't know what they're going to be doing about car boots. But yeah, you can get tools. Don't get me wrong. You do see some of these stalls, and you're thinking, why have you got like 50 drills here, and you look like you've just come off a boat. Don't get me wrong. It's buying stuff.
Yeah.
No one wants to buy anything that's come off some dodgy little van or anything. But yeah, you can buy machines at a decent price that someone's genuinely selling them. Whether they've been hammered over the time and you don't want to, that if you went to get it off a hire shop, you're never going to have a fault with it. And then if you do, you're going back with it and they're swapping it straight away.
The thing is, when you own your own assets, like you said, then you've got your own. It's the wear and tear and the maintenance as well, and keeping it up. And as soon as it breaks, nowadays we live in a really disposable society, don't we? So, years ago, and I'm talking years ago, I mean, I'm in my 40s, early 40s. But if our TV broke, we used to take it to the TV repair shop.
You do.
But nowadays, you just chuck it and then you just go and get another one. So is that very much how the tool society works as well? Is it almost like, hang on a minute, that's broken, just bin it and get another one?
A decent quality one, I think, lasts and it's worth it. Most of the time, if a machine goes down, it's the bushes, isn't it? Yeah. As daft as that is, and you just replace them, you can get them from wherever. But, if you're buying it like I won't mention names, but a cheap kind of drill or grinder, and it's gone, hasn't it? And yourself, you bought it at a cheap price. Do you go and get another one?
So that's the advantage, really, of hiring, isn't it? Is that you're not going to have that disposable, because let's be honest, sometimes like kettles, for example, I know, like a kettle in a house, you can go through a kettle a year if it's getting hammered and hammered and hammered. And I can imagine it's the same for things like a grinder or, like a drill or something along the lines of that. But I suppose with the advantage with hiring it is you've not got that worry that if it goes, you've got to keep replacing it. But I suppose little things like that you would probably have anyway, wouldn't you? It's the bigger things. Or do people hire the little things from you, Adam?
There's a whole range of stuff. I think the technology will advance over the next few years where, say you've got a big site going on in, we're in Manchester now, a site down the road might have 10 different contractors working on it. What technology will allow in the future is that everyone will share their assets. So instead of 10 all hiring the same asset, you might go, actually, you'll use it between 10 and 11. Someone else will use it between 1 and 2, which again, from an environmental perspective is better, and the assets are used better. So imagine again, in a car, you know how hard a car's worked by the miles it's got on it. Technology is already going into assets now to know what the runtime has been. So are you getting something that's been, really used over a bit of time or not? And then we know when to replace it. So the technology aspect's just going to continue to grow, and then being able to put together, you'll put together your wish list of kit that you'll need to do a job. Another contractor would do, and then a main contractor can then just go and hire just a lesser amount and make the job more cost effective. So all this is happening at the moment, and so
that's bringing the prices down a lot, I presume, by kind of.
I think it's working smarter as well, though. It's being smarter about. You see powered access a lot on sites, and somebody will use it for an hour, and somebody else will use it for another hour. But what happened if everybody was able to sign on? You knew exactly what you'd use, so you pay a portion of the higher cost. Somebody else pays a portion, because at the moment you're picking up the full cost.
So that means that you're going to have to book your slot for the
Portaloo
toilet from 12 till 1, and then you won't have to go to the toilet. You have to book that Portaloo.
Portaloo.
You have to book that time.
And the toilet as well.
We're sharing it.
Love the fact that everything is coming back to the loo at the moment. This is amazing.
The kettle and the loo.
It's the main things, isn't it? It's the main important things on site. That.
So if, say, for example, you've got somebody on site in I don't know, just outside of Manchester, they're outside of the city, they're not too far from a Travis Perkins depot. Do they need to, and they you need something, I haven't got it, I need to go and get it. Does that person, can they call up and say, have you got it? How does it actually work? Or do you have to go in, sign, collect it, or can it get delivered? Some of the bigger equipment get delivered, because not everybody drives a big van with that space. Not every, some of the lads that I know have just got small vans, because if you don't need a big van, what's the point of having it on the road? Do you know what I mean? If you've got a little van, you're not going to get a mixer in the back of it at all.
No, you're right.
So how does that work?
So I think the value for Travis Perkins is that we've got such a vast network of hire branches, but also other like merchant branches as well, is that having that trade account is hugely important, because that we know who you are then. So when you either go on the website and inquire whether something's available, or you call a branch, we want to do it in the way that you want to work. So if you're all about actually picking the phone up and speaking to someone in the branch that you normally trade with, you can do that. If you want to go through the website, you can do that, whichever way suits you. So by having an account, that's where we know about you, and then you can choose whether you want to go and collect the kit. Sometimes if it's lastminute.com and you need something, you'll choose to come get it. If you know you need something 2 days from now or tomorrow, we'll then put it on one of our vehicles. So roughly half of all our hires we drop off and collect.
Oh God, that's handy then, isn't it? That's really good.
Half are done really just coming in the morning. If you ever go into Travis Perkins branch early doors in the morning, really, really busy of people coming in for materials and for hire items.
I mean, most of the time, we stay local and we try to build wherever we can. But let's say, for instance, if I were to hire a JCB, but then I had a job in Cornwall and I went to Travis, is that kind of still the fixed price?
100%. And we'd use the prices that you'd set up in your home branch, and then you would just get charged that from the branch that you're going to. Right, and really, again, your home branch should really take care of all the work for you. Tell us where you want it, when you want it, and what you want, and we'll just make sure it gets there and makes it happen for you. So try and take, you've got enough stresses on a day-to-day about making sure everything works in the way that it should do. Just take the headache away. That's
one of the most time-consuming things, is having to go off-site. It's especially for any lad, any lady, any lad in the trade. It is one of the most, especially with the way the roads are at the moment as well. It's a nightmare. And I know, just from being married to the trade, that the most time-consuming thing is going off-site and then trying to get back on site. And so the fact that you're actually delivering just takes that huge element of stress away, and also wondering where somebody's gone. Hang on, where's he gone? He's been gone 25 hours. It's not that far away.
Exactly.
Like find him in Costa Coffee or something.
And we don't just drop the tool hire off. If you've run out of a bit of materials, we'll drop the materials off and the tool hire at the same time. So most of our branches are really flexible on even the kind of vehicles they can get down narrow roads, big sites. Dropping diggers off is different than handheld stuff.
So give us a bit of an idea then as to, we know you do Portaloos, we know you do skips. Give us a bit more of an idea of the equipment that people can actually hire from you, and what's the most popular as well. What's proven to be most popular in the trade?
So one of the big things, the first bit is usually to be able to dig a hole or fill a hole. So if you're working for a utilities company, you're building any kind of structure, you need to be able to do the foundation. So by way and afar, we've got one of the biggest fleets from JCB in the UK, and we're able to meet your need, whether it's even getting in some really tight spaces around micro diggers, 1.5 ton diggers that can really help, Karl do his job quicker and probably a little bit less pain than digging.
It's so much the worth the weight in
soul
gold.
destroying, isn't it?
Yeah, if you've got a little access to get around the back of the house and you get these little mini diggers, the micro diggers,
micros,
they literally get through like a bin.
Digging footings though is just brutal.
They're designed to go
down. Like doing it by hand is absolutely brutal, and it's time consuming. That's what one of my husband's first ever jobs. That's what he used to have to do when he got into the trade. He used to have to dig out footings, and as a young lad with his Citroen Berlingo, he's done well. I'm very proud of him. But he used to say I'd be absolutely knackered by the time I got home. But he did. He used to get showered and then go back in. I think he was back then. I don't know what he was on, like £50 a day, probably less than that. Do you know what I mean?
Good.
But
do you know what the main
now?
Bought it off him.
A tank of fuel in the Berlingo that was.
Well, one of the main ones is like breakers and things like lifting steel, because more and more people are opening the back of the houses up, and the steel that's going into it. One, obviously you have to crane some of them over if you can't get them round, but then two, lifting it into position and holding it in position rather than having like 20.
Right, I'm telling you now, if my husband is listening to this, he'll be like, what's wrong with you,
all stressing and
my husband has honestly put I've got even videos of him doing it with his acro, get under there, and then he's got his pad stones and everything, and he's holding it up. So it's madness, isn't it? But is that something that you provide as well?
Yeah, everything from getting up to height, so with tower, so all the components to be able to help you do any work you're doing, whether it's putting plasterboard walls up or just doing guttering, any kind of stuff like that. We do, and then loads of handheld things. We work with a lot of repair and maintenance contractors, so dehumidifiers, being able to sort rooms out, even internal lighting where there's no mains lighting, everything that you need to fix anything and do any solution. And as I say, if we haven't got it and we own it, we'll find it for you. So almost give our branches the challenge, really.
So you've got a huge catalogue then of equipment that you can hire,
massive.
because I would never have thought lighting as well as tool hire. So it does come under that umbrella of tool hire, doesn't it?
It won't be long before the clocks change again and summer's gone.
Yeah, that's
so a site that you would be able to do some work till maybe 5-6 o'clock in the evening, now it stops at 3. You need to be able to do what you need to do, and lighting's a huge thing for us.
So I know you do like all the zip up scaffolds and everything, but do you deal with like a bigger, so if you wanted to do the whole wrap around of the house, do you get involved with that side of it?
You get more into full-on scaffolding. It's probably a little bit more specialist, but again, we've got a network of scaffolding contractors that we can link into. So again, at least put you in touch. And then powered access as well, which is another one of just being able to get up to height. We don't run anything that is mechanical powered access or battery powered, but we've got a network of suppliers that can help us.
So I might have you in this one. Do you hire drones? Because they're quite an expensive machine.
They're being used regularly now.
Yeah, we can, and we've got the specialist contractors out there that we would hire from and then hire to you. So we'll source them, and then the advantage for that view is we've already done the health and safety due diligence. So are they a worthy contractor that wants to work with you? We'll have done the health and safety assessment at where they base all their kit. We'll make sure we go and do spot checks, so that when you hire and it's not one of our own assets, you can be confident that it's gone through all the right health and safety checks. So again, that's important, because for me, we're recommending and helping you. We're representing TP, so we need to make sure we give a great service,
making the job a lot easier, but also looking after that person and that customer as well. I like that.
So TP really is becoming that one go-to place.
Definitely.
And is that the intention for the future as well? That it's almost like anything that you need, because I know crane hire, it's not something that you do personally, is it?
No.
Because is it right? Am I right with cranes that you have to leave them up at night? You can't leave them down, and then they're only allowed to move it. There's loads of different regulations with cranes.
It's quite a challenging area to make sure you get it right.
There's a lot of mobile ones, isn't there?
You can't move them at a particular time, and there's all sorts of things. And you've got, it's like cherry pickers; they've got to stay up or down. I don't know, at a particular time. So. Even though you could recommend somebody, because obviously, I suppose really you've got to try and work with the best of the best, because even though they are under the TP umbrella, but they're subcontractors really, aren't they? So you can only have the best of the best. So what is the future for Travis Perkins then with the hire? Because by the sounds of it, it's becoming huge.
Yeah. we're every day we're trying to add new services and make it easier for our contractors to work with us. Whether that's being able to eventually order directly from an app and a website, so get it confirmed, get when you want it all done. At the moment, we're probably a step away from that, and we're working on it. And one of my ambitions is that you're able to hire anything you want in any of our branches. And again, we've got 250 out of 500 is not bad going. It's the most out of any other hire company to be able to do it, but I want it to do it through all of them.
You never know, you might probably not you're seeing this, but hire vans. As daft as that, I don't know, you'd probably go maybe somewhere else, but it could maybe lift
welfare
to that
units
part where pickups and
so
like
the vans are one away from, but we do a lot of welfare units where work's getting done in remote areas as well. You can put a kettle on and you've got a toilet, get back to toilets, but you can get your Wi-Fi and be able to do anything. Because on the drone stuff is actually been a big thing now. Yeah. So you can survey a site really, really quickly.
Oh, roof repairs. We get so many where we've got to climb up and go and see, and you're risking yourself, and you have the scaffold for security, but you're not going to do it kind of just going up and viewing something at gutter height or whatever. But taking these drones up, you get to see the top of the chimney as well, so it kind of cancels out. As much as you want to get close into the job, I think that they are something that's going to be my next choice. I'll be flying it over your house, seeing you in the hot tub.
So you go, oh my god, that's not hot. There's a paddling pool. What are you on about? Good lord. But it's, I mean, by the sounds of it, it's actually quite exciting for the role that you're in at the moment. I know that makes me sound like such a geek because I'm not really excited about toys and tools and drones, but no, really it is, because technologies are vastly is moving at a rapid rate, and at the same time you guys have got to stay up to date with everything as well at this, and I can imagine there's an awful lot of research that goes on in the hire department as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got our colleagues that are based in branches, so every day we're trying to help them learn more about what goes on. And we've got colleagues in our branches that have got 30, 40 years hire experience. They know the inside and out of every job. So quite often a customer will come in, or a trader will come in and go, this is my job, what do you think? And between the merchant team about the materials, between the hire team of what you need from an equipment perspective, we'll almost send them on the way with everything they need to do the job. Yeah. We can't assume that every day everybody knows everything that they're doing. And then we also have safety and compliance teams that work above the branches to make sure that the kit is for safe. We do lots of spot checks, we do lots of audits to make sure everything's working the way it should be. So really everything that we're doing is trying to commit to, when you hire an item off us, it's perfect for the job that you need to do, wherever you are in the country, and making sure the standards are there.
Do you know what? I think we were speaking slightly about it before, but like the kit that you wear, do you have the stuff where, let's say you were grinding? I seen a job the other day, and they were repointing all the house, and he looked like a spaceman. He was just booted and suited, and he had these.
Was it a bit overkill though? Was it, or was he a safety gentleman?
No, do you know?
Was it necessary? Because I do love a good overkill.
I think
when
it's
somebody
worth
takes it a bit too far.
Yeah. No. Well, the dust that comes off these buildings. One, the neighbours don't like it anyway, and obviously, two, you're breathing a lot of this stuff in, and it's all down as well.
No, I understand that. Yeah, of course.
So for these machines, do you have the suits and things like that you can?
On that one, that's probably a little bit more on the specialist side of things. But again, if you were doing that job, we've got a contact network that can help you. When I've been somewhere else, we've done units going into like warships, like Navy warships, and being able to pull out extraction of things that are going on inside a big warship, and because there's no air conditioning unit that would do it. Some of the things you get involved in from a hire perspective are really cool. We hired lots of stuff when Virgin were trying to launch a spaceship in Cornwall. I got the call of, have you got anything that could lift the spaceship? I'm like, I don't want to I'm not signing up to that.
Try this drone company.
Imagine you drop that.
I know a man who can though.
Yeah, imagine you drop a spaceship and the insurance for that. So there's loads of weird stuff.
You literally are a know a man who can. It literally is. It's almost like the go-to place. So anything, it's almost like, do you know what? I suppose, is that something that,
set us the challenge. We love the challenge.
Right, great.
So, it is that, no job too small. Most of what you'll do will be really straightforward. You'll have done it all the time, but sometimes really quirky stuff comes up.
Yeah.
We've done loads like mill conversions where, again, you'll find different things in the walls and you need to know how to use it and do stuff. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Do they test like things? I mean, don't get me wrong, say you wanted a machine machine. This is probably not yourself, but you wanted a machine to take that wall down, but then you needed that test to see if it was anything. Do you do like things like testers to say, is this asbestos or is this?
You can. We've got survey equipment that can do some of it, and then you're getting involved with specialist companies. But again, we can help you with it.
Brilliant.
So because sometimes like you said before, you don't know every day what the job's going to turn into. Some will be pretty straightforward, and
there's always some hidden
Have you
things.
got an app at all? Is there a TP app yet?
There is a TP app where you can use, but it sends really a quote at the moment. So we're getting to the stage where you should be able to confirm it, because at the moment we may not have the asset ourselves.
Yeah.
We need to do it, so we need to confirm availability.
Look at us, we're literally just, it's like an idea, like a sort of innovation station here right now, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm just saying, because obviously that's the way things are moving. It's app-based, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
And it's almost like, hang on a minute, I need a breaker, go on the TP app, and then within half an hour it's delivered. Just throwing it out there. You're like a challenge.
That'll be tomorrow. No, we're trying to do more and more things in sort of app space and technology space. There is always that degree of just checking what you want is really what you want, just to make sure that we send the right thing and you're able to do the job. But as one of our sister companies, Toolstation, we're just on the verge of being able to do hires through Toolstation as well. So again, you can go and buy the materials, but also you may think, well, I've got the materials, I know the job that I want to do, but I might not have the tools to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And it might be a very expensive piece of kit. So we're launching that soon as well.
So do you need to have a Travis Perkins account to be able to hire equipment? Is it
Not
or is
fully.
it suggested? Is it like recommended?
Yeah, Sally, it's a really good point. At the moment, really, you should be looking at a trade account, because then we know you are. You're also going to need materials as well. So it's probably the most straightforward way to go. You can do cash hires, but you have to leave a little bit more on deposits because of the value of the kit.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I know for a fact you've hired in the past as well, haven't you? But is it something that, as somebody in the trade, do you recommend tool hire?
Oh, every day, because you could be on a job working away thinking that you've planned it all, you've got everything, and then suddenly, hang on a minute, how are we going to do that? Because things behind the walls, until you cover it up, you realise that there's a big piece of steel there, you need it, you want to prop it up. Straight away, you've got the machines there, haven't you? You don't have to go out and buy them. You don't have to look on Marketplace to get a cheap. However it is, you get it. You just go to the hire shop. You get it. You take it back. You've used it. It's a convenient thing, isn't it? Really. I mean, what I like about it is that you seem to know all your builders merchants. You're connected, aren't you? Because you're one, so you know all your materials of what you need to do it, but you also know the machines of how to put that together. Yeah. You just need then the person that's got the knowledge to kind of put them both together and then build that for you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. We love the challenge. Give us the challenge. If you're not sure how to do
you know
a job.
Any spacemen? You need something.
Do you know what? I never thought we'd go down that route. No. I knew we'd go down the toilet route all day.
It was
that one you've just thrown in the dark there. Adam, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure to have this conversation. I genuinely didn't know we'd go down the whole submarine type warship route, but yeah, I've loved it. I really loved it. Karl, thank you so much for coming in again.
It's been a pleasure again. I love it.
Do make sure that you listen back to previous episodes if you haven't already. We've got some absolute belters that are already online where you can find out more information about Travis Perkins, but not only that, just about other things that are to do with the trade that could be of some help. Thanks ever so much for joining us, and we'll see you very soon.
Trade Talk, powered by Travis Perkins.